Imagine your boss walks into the office one morning and announces he just spent $7 million on ice. Not gold, not oil, not weapons. Ice, snow, bears, and a few thousand walruses. The entire country lost its mind. Newspapers called him an idiot. Congress called him a criminal. The New York press called the deal Seward's Icebox. Polar bear garden. The greatest waste of money in American history. Here's what they didn't know. That useless ice was sitting on top of more than 12 billion barrels of oil. Enough natural gas to heat American homes for decades. More seafood than most countries will ever see. Rare earth minerals now critical to every smartphone, missile system, and electric car on the planet. And a geographic position so strategically powerful that today it is the single most important piece of land America owns. This is the story of William Henry Seward, the man who made the greatest deal in human history, while everyone around him called it the worst. And on the other side of the table, the man from Russia who thought he was winning. To understand this deal, you have to go back to 1853. Russia, the largest empire on Earth, was bleeding. The Crimean War had just ended, and it was a disaster. Russia fought Britain and France at the same time, and lost. The treasury was empty. The military was exhausted, and Tsar Alexander II was staring at a map, thinking about a piece of land his empire technically owned, but could barely reach. Alaska. Let me give you a sense of how absurd this was. Alaska was separated from Russia's core territory by thousands of miles of ocean. There were almost no roads, no railroads, no telegraph lines. The Russian population in Alaska? About 700 people. 700. To put that in perspective, Russia had 70 million people at the time, and they were governing this massive landmass with roughly the population of a small apartment complex. And here was the real nightmare. Right next to Alaska was Canada, and Canada was British. The British Empire, the very power that had just humiliated Russia in Crimea. Alexander's advisors kept bringing him the same warning. If Britain decides to take Alaska, we cannot stop them. We don't have the ships, we don't have the soldiers, and we won't be compensated with a single ruble. So the Tsar made a calculated decision. If we're going to lose Alaska anyway, we might as well sell it. And here's the part nobody talks about. Russia didn't just want to sell Alaska to anyone. They specifically wanted to sell it to the United States because of one terrifying reason. America was Britain's rival, Britain's thorn. If America owned Alaska, it would permanently block Britain from surrounding Russia's Pacific coast. Russia wasn't losing Alaska. Russia was using Alaska as a weapon. Now enter William Henry Seward, Secretary of State under Abraham Lincoln, one of the most ambitious men in American politics. And in April 1865, he nearly died. The night Lincoln was assassinated, the same night, the same hour, a co-conspirator broke into Seward's home and stabbed him repeatedly. His face was slashed open. He nearly bled out. He spent weeks recovering in bed, his face wrapped in bandages, barely able to speak. When he finally came back to work, still scarred, still healing, the first thing he did was push for the biggest land deal in American history. Seward had a vision that most people couldn't see. He believed America's future was in the Pacific, not the Atlantic. He believed the United States was destined to become not just a continental power, but a global one. And Alaska was the key. In 1867, Russian diplomat Eduard de Steckel came to Washington with an offer. Russia was ready to sell. Seward was ready to buy. What happened next was so fast, so secretive, that when Congress woke up the next morning, the deal was already done. March 29, 1867, 11 p.m. Washington, D.C. Seward is playing cards at home when he receives an unexpected visitor, Edward de Steckel, Russia's minister to the United States. "I have authorization from St. Petersburg. We are ready to finalize the treaty tonight." Seward immediately sends for every clerk in the State Department. At midnight, they're all gathered. By 4 a.m. on March 30th, 1867, the treaty is signed. Alaska, 586,000 square miles of land, changes hands for $7.2 million. Let me put that in perspective. $7.2 million for 586,000 square miles. That is 2 cents per acre. 2 cents per acre. For comparison, New York City's Central Park would cost more to buy today than all of Alaska did in 1867. And the American press lost its mind. Seward's folly. Seward's icebox. Andrew Johnson's polar bear garden. Congress was furious. The House of Representatives refused to release the money for over a year. One congressman called it a sucked orange, nothing left but rind. Seward never flinched. He knew something they didn't. 31 years later. Gold. The Klondike gold rush exploded across Alaska and the Yukon. Overnight, the territory everyone called a wasteland became the most exciting place on the planet. Hundreds of thousands of prospectors flooded in. Alaska wasn't Seward's folly anymore. It was Seward's fortune. But the gold was only the beginning. In 1968, exactly 101 years after the purchase, oil workers drilling on Alaska's North Slope made a discovery so enormous it stunned the world. Prudhoe Bay, the largest oil field ever discovered in North America. Since that discovery, Alaska has produced over 17 billion barrels of oil. Oil revenues have funded 90% of Alaska's state budget for most of its history, generating nearly $274 billion in total revenue since statehood. The North Slope alone holds an estimated 10.4 billion barrels of untapped oil. And the National Petroleum Reserve? 23 million acres reserved specifically as an emergency energy supply. But here's what makes this truly insane. We're not even talking about the most valuable part anymore. Alaska has over 70 known rare earth element deposits: cobalt, graphite, lithium. The exact minerals that go into every electric car battery, every fighter jet, and every modern weapon system America builds. In a world where the United States is in a technology race with China, a country that dominates rare earth mining globally, Alaska might literally be America's answer to that problem. But none of this, not the oil, not the gold, not the minerals, is the most important thing America got when it bought Alaska. The most important thing is something you can't drill for. Look at a map. Alaska sits at the top of the world. From Alaska, the United States can reach Russia in minutes, China by air faster than from any other American state. And the Arctic Ocean, which is melting, opening new shipping lanes, and is now being called the next South China Sea by military analysts. During World War II, Japan invaded the Aleutian Islands, part of Alaska. It was the only time enemy forces occupied American soil during the entire war. The United States military had to fight to take it back. Today, Alaska hosts Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson, one of the most strategically critical American military installations on Earth. F-22 Raptors, long-range bombers, missile defense systems. The only reason America can credibly deter aggression in the Pacific is because it owns that piece of land. Russia sold it for 2 cents an acre. Today, Alaska's oil wealth alone is worth more than $1 trillion. Its mineral deposits? Potentially hundreds of billions more. Its strategic military value? Incalculable. And yet, Russia thought they were getting the better end of the deal. Here's what I want you to sit with. William Seward made the greatest investment in American history while everyone called him a fool. He was stabbed in his own home, nearly killed, his face permanently scarred. And when he came back, still healing, the first thing he did was fight for a deal that would be mocked for the next 3 decades. He never saw the gold rush. He never saw the oil. He died in 1872, 5 years after the purchase. He never heard a single person say, "Thank you." But here's the thing about vision. Vision isn't about being right in the room. It's about being right across time. And the man on the other side, Russia's Eduard de Steckel, the man who brokered the deal, pocketed his commission, and went home to St. Petersburg feeling like a genius. He told the Tsar he had offloaded a useless frozen burden. Today, Russian President Vladimir Putin has called the sale of Alaska the greatest geopolitical mistake in Russian history. The man who sold Alaska thought he was winning. He was handing over the future. The next time someone tells you your vision is a folly, remember a man with a scarred face sitting at a table at 4 a.m., signing his name to something that changed the world. And nobody clapped. That's the Alaska Purchase. Seward's folly. Seward's legacy. America's greatest deal. If you made it this far, I genuinely appreciate it. Drop in the comments. Which part of this story surprised you the most? Was it the 2 cents per acre price? The gold rush? The rare earth minerals? Or the fact that Russia specifically wanted America to have it? I want to know. And if you know someone who thinks history is boring, send them this video. Because this isn't just history. This is a lesson in how the future gets built while the present is still laughing. See you in the next one.